I think the Halo is a good thing for Formula 1 and onboard cameras, and here's why. Hello everyone, Pinder Productions here, and today I will be explaining why I think the Halo is actually a good thing for the onboard cameras and why it has improved them in 2018. If we take a look at two onboard shots, the one on the left from the Australian Grand Prix and the one on the right from Brazil last year, both are with the T-cam on the top of the car, and in my opinion I don't think the Halo does spoil the view. You can still see the track, and you can also still see the driver's helmet. You can see everything that you could before, except for part of the tyres, which I don't think really makes much of a difference in this case, because it's black on black, or whatever the colour of the Halo is on the tyres, so you couldn't see the action there anyway. And then in the centre it only really blocks out the nose, which was just sponsoring, so it's not like it really blocks out much. And you can still tell the colour of the car and which car it is, because obviously each car is fairly different. I do think that the Halo hasn't spoilt the view, because you can still see the same amount of action. You can see the cars ahead, what's going on there, how good the start of the driver is, and you can still see all around both left and right, and it's only really blocking out the wing mirrors, a little bit of the right one. I think that's just because the camera is offset. So if your argument is, oh, we won't be able to use the wing mirrors in the new Formula 1 game as well, then I really don't think that's the case, because you can still see the whole of the left wing mirror, and I think if it was moved slightly right, then you can still see the right wing mirror, maybe blocking out a little bit of the edges. But even so, as you can see from the gameplay behind, the HUD blocks out the entire right wing mirror anyway, to be honest, and you can't see that much because it's being blocked by the rear wing of the car. So you're not really missing out on much because of the Halo, obviously just bodywork and tyres. So I do think that the Halo hasn't spoilt the T-cam in Formula 1, and that it is still possible to see where the driver is going and all the action around. And so moving on to my slightly more controversial opinion on the onboard cameras. Again, we have the 2018 view on the left and the 2017 view on the right. And to be honest, I think this is a massive improvement, and I'm not joking here. I never liked this camera view in the first place, this slightly offset from the driver's helmet. It does give I guess a nice view, sort of driver's eye view in a little bit of a way, but then to be honest it's slightly above, and it's only one side, so you can't see what's going on the right hand of the car, or the left if it's mounted on the other side. So you can only see half of the action. If there was a crash, let's say on the other side of the driver, and this was the only car that saw it, and then they use this camera view, then I just think that it was pointless. I don't think it was very well executed, and it wasn't always used in the right situations. There's somebody overtaking on the other side of the car, and they'd show this left sort of side view, and you wouldn't be able to see the action. So it would be like, what's the point in showing this camera view? Just show the T-cam, which you could see both sides on. And so this is why I think this Halo blocking it out is actually a good thing for the onboards, because with it blocked out, it gives them less of a just reason to use it. I mean, you can't see anything now, so it kind of makes this camera redundant, and I never liked it anyway. So for me, this is a good thing, because it blocks out the camera that I never liked, and so hopefully that makes them use it less often. And I would really like if they used it less often, or didn't use it at all, because I never liked this camera view anyway, because you can only see half of the action on the left hand side, and well, in front I suppose. But now that the Halo is basically blocking out the front and the left, it's kind of a good thing, I think, because it gives them less of a reason to use the camera view, and that makes me happy. So that's why I think that this camera view has been improved by the introduction of the Halo, because they'll hopefully use it less often. And so those are my arguments on why the Halo is not a bad thing for Formula 1's onboard cameras, and why it could actually be seen as an improvement, as they're using that camera view that I don't like as much, hopefully. Obviously the Halo has improved the frontal impacts, or its aim is to do that. We haven't actually really seen how it can do that in a race, but hopefully that doesn't have to happen. I do think that it looks like a bit of a bolt-on when looking at the cars. I think that they need to redesign the entire car around the halo, a bit like what they've done in Formula E. I think that looks really good, and that has the halo on it, so I think they need to have better incorporation of the halo into the design of the car in the next rule change in 2021, so we'll see what happens there. But apart from that, I do think that it has improved some of the onboard cameras, and it hasn't really spoiled the T-cam like some people are suggesting, it looking like a basketball hoop, which I can see that criticism. It's round, I suppose, but I don't think it's actually spoilt the view. Please do leave your opinions in the comments section below on whether you think the halo is a good or a bad thing for Formula 1 in general, whether it is the onboards or for any other reason. Do leave your opinions in the comments. So I hope you did enjoy this, and I will see you next time. Bye.